Saturday from the gorgeous floral suite here at the Westgate in Las Vegas. Yes, I am dressed for the Super Contest golf tournament, and no, I am not doing that well. Vegas got the best of me last night, but we are still here to bring you guys all of the UFC 305 action. Apparently, I'm going to be forced to talk soccer for the second time this week because John Murray wanted to talk about the Premier League, and so does Pavlos. And then I'm going to have a long suffering into the show because Adam Trigger is going to talk baseball. So we're going to get through this together, guys. Went 0-2 for the first time in PLL last night. Lost 2 games in overtime. That probably was worse than this hangover. So let's get it going before I lose my voice. Bring in Andy Lang. Andy, you're going to have to pronounce these UFC guys this morning because I refuse to do
it. Junior is the first guy. We'll talk. All right, we'll talk Junior Tafa and Walter Walker. Kelly, if you're a little queasy, you're not going to want to watch this fight because this might make anybody throw up. Both these guys suck. It's not going to be a very entertaining fight, but I think it is going to go the distance, and this plus 150 is just a little bit too good to pass up. So Junior Tafa, his brother fights at UFC, so they bring Junior in, and he's not very good. His biggest weakness by far is his takedown defense. He doesn't have any. And Walter Walker comes from basically the other side of the world. He gets a fight in the UFC, and he gets completely fraud checked. It just turns out he's not fighting very good competition. He steps up in the UFC, and he doesn't look very good. Walter Walker can do one thing, though, and that is wrestle and take guys down, and that's what he's going to do to Junior Tafa. I think he's going to take him down and probably control him for the majority of the fight. Junior Tafa's one path to victory is to land big power. Junior Tafa can punch really hard. I just don't see Walker trying to stand at range and avoid those shots. The path of least resistance is push him up against fence, take him down, wrestle him. And I'm really surprised you're getting plus 150 on this to go the distance, because if Walter Walker is going to win, it's going to be one of those boring clinch wrestle matchups that Dana White hates, but that's really how I see this going down. So it's not going to be an exciting fight to watch if Walter Walker wins, but what is exciting is cashing a plus 150 ticket. So that's how I'm playing this fight.
Never complain about cashing those plus money tickets. Andy Lang, what do you have to promote over at WagerTalk.com?
We've got a UFC 305 best bet that is up, and we're coming off of a clean sweep on the PFL card last night. Kelly hit a 5% play. That is 2 PFL events in a row that we've swept the board on, and we got a couple other pieces to close out some parlays. But the biggest thing is our UFC 305 best bet that is up. Just one play. That's all I need to really cash in on this card. There's some pretty good fights that are very bettable, but this one really sticks out more than the rest. So one play, just one price, one play over at WagerTalk.com, and we look to continue our winning ways. We're up 117 units on the year. We've had 7 winning weeks in a row, so we're looking for number 8 this week, and it goes off tonight.
Yeah, Andy has been on fire on his free plays on Instagram as well. So make sure you guys are following the Wager Talk Instagram page so you guys do not miss out on all the free content over there. Mac Hudson from the comment section, that's what you guys are supposed to do. And I was too hungover to remind you to do it. So Mac wants to know, any thoughts on Adesanya?
Yeah, that's the next play I was going to talk about. Main event, Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya. So this is, I've been pretty consistent with this. So Kelly, a couple fights ago, Israel Adesanya fights his old nemesis, Alex Pereira. It's been the one guy that has just kind of tormented his career. And Adesanya just pulls this out-of-body experience and knocks Alex Pereira out cold, which is, I just didn't think we would ever see it. And I actually said in the moment, I thought that is Adesanya's peak. This is a guy that's been a champion for many years. He's fought the absolute best in the division. He's gone through a ton of wars. He's in his mid-30s. What is left for this guy? There's so much wear and tear on this guy's body. The mental energy and focus that this guy has had for so long. And I just thought, him beating Alex Pereira and getting his revenge, I just thought that's the peak. So what happens? He comes out and he fights Sean Strickland, and quite honestly, I thought he looked terrible. And I just think he's on the downside of his career. I just don't think you can be at that level for this long, especially after all the wars that he's been through. So my pick is du Plessis. Du Plessis has been he's a tough guy to figure out, Kelly, because he could look really awkward in the octagon sometimes. He can gas. He had this nasal surgery that supposedly has fixed his cardio. His striking looks weird at times. I have a friend that calls him the windmill because he just kind of swings. Sometimes his arms are just flailing forward, but it works, and he's going to have a wrestling advantage. Anytime he wants, he can clinch and have the upper hand against Adesanya. I'm out on betting on Adesanya after that Pereira fight. I'll stick by it. I was able to cash on Strickland against Adesanya at a really nice price, and I just think that these champions, Kelly, in UFC, once they start to fall off, it's a really, really quick decline. It's just so hard to be on top for as long as Adesanya has so. But I think we're kind of starting to see a little bit of the wind down to his career. So I'll take Duplessis over Adesanya tonight.
Awesome. All right, Andy, WT.buzz/AL is his WagerTalk homepage. You can get his 5% play up tonight in the UFC. Also, make sure you guys are giving him a follow on X at Bump Sports. Andy, anything to leave us with?
Nope. Should be a great night of fights. We'll be doing our live show. So if you want to join us, we'll do some live bets and predictions for the entire UFC 305. But good luck on all your plays today, everyone.
Yes, I need all the luck after the bad luck last night. Let's bring in Pavlos. Probably about 12 hours time difference. Pavlos, what time is it over there? I'm in Vegas right now. It is 8 o'clock in the morning, and my body is currently really hating.
I mean, if I was awake at 8 o'clock in the morning, my body would be suffering as well. It's 6 p.m. here, so it's really, I'm wide awake. I had my coffee. I had some winners, actually. One just came in as the show was progressing. So we're doing really well in soccer, and I'm here to talk some EPL futures with you. And I have a nice play, actually, a nice future and a play for tomorrow.
I love it. Right now, Pavlos is on a nice 5% run. He is 6-1 on those releases, 12-3 in soccer in the last 8 days. Right now, SOC7 gets you 7 days of his soccer for $59. Now, I knew the EPL was coming back, Pavlos, because my co-host on Kelly and Murray wouldn't stop talking about it. And I can't wait to talk about it with you. Tell me first about the EPL future that you have bet.
Yeah, I have a very, very interesting EPL future. It's West Ham to finish in the top half of the league table, -125. Now, this is kind of a poor EPL season in terms of spending. Not a lot of teams spend a lot of money because they're cracking down on, spending on these EPL teams. And there's now financial fair play rules that are very strict. So not many teams can afford to spend the money we used to see, teams spending. They were spending like dozens of millions on players who didn't even matter. But this season is different. Only a couple of teams made a lot of additions, and one of them is West Ham, actually, who, by the way, they finished 9th in the EPL last season, which means that there's no European soccer for them this season, no Champions League, no Europa, no Conference. So they're fully focused on their EPL duties. And for a team that's not playing in Europe, spending 100 million is just too much. So they brought in a lot of players to cover a lot of gaps in their roster. Starting with the defense, they got 3 very, very good defenders. 2 of them on a full transfer, 1 of them on a loan. They closed some gaps in the midfield with Guido Rodriguez from Betis. They brought in Dortmund's Füllkrug for the center forward position, which was a position where they were really struggling in the last couple of seasons, and they also got a couple of players down the flank. So they spent 100 more million than they actually got because they also sold a couple of players. But here's the thing: they also changed their coach, and now their coach is Julien Lopetegui, who coached Wolves last season, so he knows the EPL, and it's very interesting to talk about the origins of this coach, because he's of Basque origin. Now, Basque is a small region in Spain, but for whatever reason, there's only a population of 700,000. It's really small. But for whatever reason, they produce really good coaches. So if you might know some household names like Arsenal's Mikel Arteta, Aston Villa's Unai Emery, who's won 5 Europa Leagues, Leverkusen's Xabi Alonso. So imagine a state like Vermont producing world-class coaches in the NFL. So that's how crazy Basque coaches are. So he's now at West Ham. He's on a mission to guide this team to European soccer next season. And in order for that to happen, they need to finish in the top 8. So I project West Ham to finish inside at the top half of the season, minus 125. If you go to bet this right now, it might be locked for a little bit because the EPL just started. There's matches playing right now, but if you wait for the game week to finish on Monday, these are going to still be available. So minus 125, I'm going to play it to maybe minus 140. So yeah, give me West Ham to finish in the top half of the league table at minus 125.
All right, guys, if you have a question for Pavlos, drop it in the chat. Right now at WagerTalk.com, he has a 5% top bet for Wednesday in the Copa Sudamericana. Anything else to promote at WagerTalk.com, Pavlos?
I have a 4% Asian spread bet for tomorrow, Sunday, in the La Liga. But I want to stay on that 5% because I tend to load this place early. Now, today is Saturday. If you're gonna bet this, if you're gonna put your bet on Wednesday, all the value is gonna be gone. And I scream it on the top of my lungs. I also write it in my write-ups on my tweets as well. Don't wait for match day in order to put your bets in because some of the value or all of the value is gone. I don't understand why, like 2/3 of my buyers, they buy this on the game day. What are you waiting for? Do you not like money? If you like money, get it now, place your bet now, and then you'll have the best value that there is. So yeah, two big plays for me. One is on Sunday, one is on Wednesday. And of course, if you get that weekly pass, you'll get all plays from now till then. And of course, you'll catch the start of the Bundesliga next weekend, and of course, all the plays in between.
I love it. You should always be looking to get the best of the number, like Pavlos said. Don't wait until Wednesday to buy this because you're going to lose some of the value. Let's head over to England. Back to the EPL. Tell me the pick for Chelsea and Manchester City.
Oof, that's a really nice match happening on Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Get your coffees because it's going to be a really exciting match. I'm going to go with a player prop here, even though I do like City money line at minus 115. However, I'm going to go with Erling Haaland to score any time. It's at plus 100, even money at FanDuel. Minus 120, I believe, at DraftKings. Now, he is the best striker that there is in the world. That's, that's by no means an overstatement. He always plays very well in match day one. So whenever the season starts, he's doing an awesomely good job. Now, he scored 2+ goals in each of the last 4 seasons. So twice with Manchester City, he came over a couple of seasons ago, and twice with Dortmund. And he even scored a hat-trick within 23 minutes while coming in as a sub in his first ever match against Dortmund, which was on January, but they got him on the winter transfer window. So in his first match that he played, he also scored a hat-trick. So again, he's one of the best, if not the best, strikers of all, in all of the European soccer now. He's tall, he's strong, he's very technical. He has no real weaknesses to his game, and they're playing the first match against Chelsea, who they might sound like one of the big teams, but in the last couple of years, they've been buying and selling all kinds of players. Of course, they're owned by US, a US consortium that they treat this as if it's an MLB, type of situation where they stash a lot of players. They have 8 goalkeepers. No team has more than 3. So they have 8 goalkeepers. That goes to show what a really weird show goes on at Chelsea. So again, they made a lot of transfers. Now they're going to field a starting lineup that's probably never played against, with each other. Again, there is no chemistry. They got a new coach, which is a couple of steps behind Manchester City's coach. So there is really no advantage to be handed to Chelsea here. I think Manchester City win, and I think Haaland scores at least one. Again, he scored a couple of goals in each of the last 4 seasons in the first match of the season. Now, the last time he played in this venue, he scored 2 goals and he gave out an assist in a mouth-watering 4-4 draw last season. So FanDuel were generous enough to slap a plus 100 on Haaland to score any time. I'd play this to minus 130. I think that's a very good price. So give me Erling Haaland to score any time, even money in the Chelsea versus City match in the EPL on Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern.
I love it. As I mentioned, Pavlos has been on a nice run, 12-3 in the last 8 days. Promo SOC7 gets you 7 days of his soccer for just $59. Pavlos, anything you want to leave our audience with?
No, just I just have to mention once again that we have some very nice promos, very nice discounts. If you get this now, you'll be notified as soon as I load a play. Because when you go 3 days later or 4 days later to buy this play and bet on it, there's no value. And then I got some messages like, "Oh, why did the line change?" The line is going to change. I'm telling you that the line is going to change. So you have to bet it now, and that should be your strategy throughout the whole season. Because that's what I do. I find lines early that I project them to move come game time. So don't do the same mistake. I used to do that mistake in the past, but not anymore. Please get yourself a 7-day, 30-day, whatever you can afford. So that's it, and good luck.
Awesome. Pavlos at PolyWT on Twitter. We're going to bring in Adam Trigger now. Take all of your baseball questions, so drop them in the chat. I'm just going to let Adam take over the show, you guys. I'm going to go take a 20-minute nap before I have to go to breakfast. My good friend Kelly, Mad Fat Teacher, as you guys know her on X, is going to be very disappointed in me at breakfast this morning. So, Adam, the show is now yours. We'll see you guys next week.
Well, I'll start with someone just asked a question on Twitter. I do have an opinion. So I'll start by answering that. Asked about Diamondbacks Rays. Arizona is definitely on my short list today. I haven't bet this yet. The only reason I guess I haven't is because I'm waiting to see two things. One, Ketel Marte's been out since August 12th, dealing with a sore ankle. Really hasn't played since a couple of days before that. I think he tried to pinch hit a couple of times, and he hasn't played since. But I did read from Arizona's beat writer that his ankle is feeling better. I think if we see him in the lineup today, that's a pretty considerable boost, even though Arizona is still knocking the cover off the ball. Everyone on this team seems to hit. I think they're 18-4 now in their last 22 games. I know they had a 6-game winning streak snapped last night. Yeah, I mean, minus 110, if Ketel Marte's in the lineup, is tough to pass up. And I might not be able to pass it up either because he matters that much, in my opinion. I think he gets left out of the conversation at times of like the top players in Major League Baseball. I really think he's one of like the best 10 to 15 position players in the game right now. So if he's back, that certainly, matters to me. And, as far as the pitching is concerned, like Zach Gallen, I think he gets a little bit overvalued at times, especially on the road, because his home road splits, like his splits at home tend to be better, but he's still a front end of the rotation guy. So I kind of agree with the couple of people in the chat alluding to liking the Diamondbacks. If Marte's in there and you're getting Gallen at minus 110, against a Rays team that really just isn't a good baseball team. They will play their way out. I'm actually amazed that they're only a game under 500 with the roster that they have. I feel like this team should be like 10 games under 500. So, yeah, my lean, especially after the way they lost last night, taking the lead in the 9th and then choking it away late, I think Arizona bounces back and gets the win tonight.
Wow, that might have been the fastest analysis you've ever given on the show. All right, moving right along. Adam Trigger wants me to lay minus 170 with the Cubs. Tell him in the chat he is out of his mind. We'll get to B Daddy's comment here about a couple of the totals here shortly, but minus 170, Adam, come on.
It was really more for a talking point. I'm not going to – so it's really like minus 165 it is, I think, attainable right now. I'm not going to bet that for that reason. I had the Cubs yesterday at minus 115. I thought, and they did win the game, but they kind of blew the game, won it late, won it in extras. I thought this price might be a little bit lower. So that doesn't mean if the Blue Jays take money, which they seem to all the time for being a bad team, the Blue Jays take an awful lot of money in the market on a semi-regular basis. And that gets knocked down 10 or 15 cents. I think you could start to consider the Cubs because it really is still a very good matchup for the Cubs. You got Justin Steele, who's, their ace. Well, Imanaga is probably their ace, but Steele's a front end, pitcher. But really the big advantage here is the bullpen. Toronto's bullpen had a good day yesterday, but they're as bad as it gets. I referenced this on First Pitch on Thursday, or really all week, and then did a show yesterday where I brought it up again. Their bullpen WAR is minus 2.4. It's 30 out of 30 teams in the league. The next worst is the Colorado Rockies at 0.4. So there's and that's wins above replacement. It's a sabermetric baseball stat. That's one of the better metrics to look at when you're looking at Major League Baseball stats. So their bullpen is so bad that I don't think it's like even properly quantified with like things like ERA and WHIP and some of the surface, metrics. And then you look at yesterday's game, they used like their 5 best relievers. They actually had a pretty good bullpen day, but then they used everyone and they still lost anyway. The Cubs, like, you're going to get people looking at this and say, well, Neris blew the save. He's not going to be around today. You don't want him in the closer role anyway. It's something the Cubs have, Craig Counsell gets paid the big bucks to like put together this team and win games. And he's had people in the wrong spots all season, in my opinion. So I don't downgrade the Cubs at all if he's not in the closer role. The Cubs schedule is extremely soft. I believe they're now 4.5 back after the win yesterday. They have to win now. They have to beat teams that they should beat at home. This is one of those games. I'd be shocked if the Cubs, don't win today. And I think they might actually sweep the Blue Jays this weekend. I would look to just continue to play on the Cubs.
All right, look to play on the Cubs, says Adam Trigger. Adam, what do you have to promote right now over at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, so I have a 4% MLB play up tonight. Big turnaround for me in Major League Baseball. I was cold out of the gate in April and May. And since June 1st, I've made 50 units in Major League Baseball. So it swung me from the negative. Now I'm in the positive on the season. Hope to continue that. August and September, great time to be betting Major League Baseball. The entire world switches their focus to football. The lines get softer. The books pay less attention. Always better spots, especially as we expand rosters going into September. So I've got a 4% play in Major League Baseball tonight. The chat's got me considering Diamondbacks, and if I do add that, I'll just tweet it out for free. And then preseason football, 5% play goes tomorrow. I was 6-2 in NFL preseason last year. I have one that I took down because I already beat the number considerably for tonight. So hopefully that gets there. And then I have a 5%er tomorrow. I believe 8-3 dating back my last 11 NFL preseason plays, and I expect to win again in the preseason this weekend.
All right, at Adam Trigger WT on X, if you guys want to give him a follow. He's supposed to be doing stuff on Instagram, but I digress. I'm tired of
I just did. I posted. You've been like on a bender in Vegas. I've been posting Instagram stuff. I've been posting. I posted a couple stories. I posted a couple stories. I posted a couple stories. I've been posting so I decided I'm going to post all my pictures from my college basketball travels. So I posted, I'm starting at the first couple. So I'm on 2. I'm going to do 3 later today. I've got 50 of them. So just Instagram content for days, Kelly, just for you.
I love it. All right, guys, if you have a question for Adam regarding a game, I'm going to give him 4 more minutes. So that gives me half an hour to lie down before I have to go to breakfast. Adam, you've got another game here. There we go. Titan CT, you are a total player. What do you think about the Phillies over?
Yeah, so this is a tough one because, and I just got to I just want to cue this game up, but I believe it's, Mackenzie Gore and Christopher Sanchez. Sanchez is a guy I'm typically willing to play against. However, the Nationals are not great against left-handed pitching. And Mackenzie Gore is a guy that has tormented me since he's been in the big leagues. Mackenzie Gore, Kelly, your good friend Ariel Epstein had me turned on to Mackenzie Gore very early in his career. He went to East Carolina. I kind of followed him through the minors. I love this guy. And he just hasn't fully panned out as the top MLB starter as I thought he would. So it's tough for me because I've been high on him before he was even good. Now he's good, but I think he gets maybe a little bit too much love from the markets. So, but in this case, I still am a Mackenzie Gore guy, and I know the Nationals can't really hit left-handed pitching. So I would actually lean toward the under in this one. Under 9 seems right. I think this is a tighter game, and that 9 minus 110 covers if it's 4-4, at least you're not going to lose. If it was 8.5, you would lose pretty much instantly or automatically. I'm sorry, if it was 4-4. So I'll lean toward the under Nationals Phillies.
All right, lean towards the under there. And you like an ugly dog against an ugly favorite today out west. The Giants have just been absolutely atrocious every time I get talked into betting on them. And then the A's, are they trying to win baseball games? What's going on in Oakland?
Yeah, you know what's funny? And I think if you don't follow baseball closely, you don't really understand this. It's the fans that are upset in Oakland. They're losing their team. The ownership sucks as it pertains to how they treat the fans and trying to move the team, so on and so forth. Loaded with great young talent. This team, like wherever they end up, Sacramento, Las Vegas, the Moon, it doesn't matter, Kelly. In 2 years, this team is going to be awesome. They're already playing better. It's reflected in their play the last 2 months. They're at AAA in Las Vegas. That team is great. Ton of great players down there. So to think that the A's are like not good, like playing hard or not good just because there's this like big fan outcry and like the state of the team is miserable is like a big misconception and I think that's like permeated into the opinion of them in the market. So you're still getting decent value to bet the A's. Now, I didn't get the right price here. I would have liked, loved to play +1.5 here if possible, but that's not going to be the case. And it goes back to what you were saying. The Giants, I think, have been sniffed out as a team that's just not that good. Even though they were able to kind of stay on the fringes of the playoff race, there's really not a huge difference between these two teams. And so, Hayden Birdsong, who's going to throw for the Giants, he's a guy that started in AA, really quickly promoted to AAA, really quickly promoted to the big leagues, and he's kind of been up there and had some success instantly right out of the gate. He's now facing like the adversity that basically every young kid faces after they go up quickly to the big leagues and have a little bit of success. Big league hitters are figuring him out, and the last 2 starts, he's gotten completely blown up. 12 runs in 6 innings, just 6 strikeouts and 4 walks. Just for contrast, his previous 2 starts were against the Rockies, 11 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts. And so now his numbers are a little bit inflated by the fact that he's gotten to pitch against the Rockies twice. I think the A's probably get to him. I like Osvaldo Bido, the A's starter. When he doesn't walk guys, his stuff can be really good. I had a winner on him last week against the Blue Jays, a game where he threw 6 shutout innings and the A's won 1-0. So I lean A's. Like, you could split this, and I actually thought about doing that. That's what I did with the A's last week when Bido was on the mound. Played +1.5 for half, the money line for half. But in this case, that's still a little bit pricey. You're still looking at like maybe -130, -135. I do lean toward the A's pretty strong here, but the price didn't work out for me. So do what you will with that.
All right. Good stuff from Adam Trigger. And Andrew really quickly wants to know, anybody want to bet Yankees on the run line today?
No, I would fade that. I would take the price with the Tigers. Keider Montero can be good. He is he's been in the Tigers organization forever, finally earned a call-up this year. I think Jung got called up yesterday. I'll have to double-check that. I thought I heard something about that. But he's kind of their top prospect down at AAA. The Tigers, they're not really the team that you want to fade in like the big underdog role. They were supposed to be a lot better than they were this year. They still have talent. Montero can give you a good start. He's not super consistent, but he can put together a good start, and I don't fully trust Rodon. So that's a big price to lay on the road for the Yankees. I'd go Tigers. $2, +200 on the Tigers sounds good, and +120 on the +1.5 sounds good. So Tigers is the lean there for me.
All right, guys. I don't see any more questions in the chat. I think that's a good sign. You guys actually like me and don't want me to be long suffering today. Adam Trigger is the best. Always a good sport. We got through 6 games, Adam. Rapid fire. I'm loving this new Adam. It's great. Quick, fast.
You know what my strategy is? I don't make notes when I'm on with you, because if I make notes, I feel like I've got to get everything out. And so now I just do it off the top of my head. I think
Perfect.
that's
all right here. Love that for you.
Yeah.
At Adam Trigger WT. It's going to get weird not calling you the golf ball.
Yeah. Golf ball. Retire the golf ball name. We're far enough away from that. Had to get rid of it. So
Love that.
New Twitter handle at Adam Trigger WT.
Okay, close us out with a promo. Tell us what you got up over at WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, 2 plays up for sale. 4% MLB tonight. Like I said, plus 50 units since June 1st. Hope to finish the season strong. And NFL preseason has been awesome. 8-3 of my last 11 NFL preseason plays. I'm on the Bills today. You're not going to find that number anymore, though. That got hit as hard as any preseason game I've seen, down from like 5-1. So, if you can figure out how to maybe get some in-game, look at the Bills tonight. But 5%er goes tomorrow on Sunday, and that's up now on my page, wt.buzz/at.
Awesome. Thank you guys for always hanging out with us here on Wager Talk's Last Call. I will be out next week. I will be in New York City with said Ariel Epstein. We're going to the Yankees game. And then, of course, we've got lots of college football action. And then we're going to do a little show revamp. I've got some things I'm going to work out and bring on some guests, maybe from some prominent sports books around town. It's going to be a fun one, guys. Shout out to you for always participating in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you in a couple weeks.